talking to ChatGPT, and if you watch my show, you know I call him Charlie, so we're going to call him Charlie. And he told me this story, and it's so cool that here I am on YouTube live at 4:30 in the morning to tell you this story. So if you like history and cool stories, you're going to like it. It's the Louis Zamperini story. If you already know it, that's what this is. It is a 3-part survival epic: plane crash, ocean, and captivity. Charlie says that his endurance is the stuff of legend, and that he is like if Forrest Gump and Bear Grylls had a baby raised by Wolverine. So let me give you context of like why am I talking to ChatGPT about this, right? So I was watching Vikings, the show, and there was an episode where they shipwrecked in this big storm, and then they, washed up on shore. Of course, conveniently right where they needed to go, but whatever. That's TV for you, but you know what I mean. So I was curious. So I went to ChatGPT and I asked, how is that possible? And has it ever been done? Has anybody actually survived a shipwreck? And like, how could you, with these big waves and these big swells, like how could you has it happened? He told me some stories and then back and forth dialogue, and he ended up telling me this story, and I was like, is it real? Yeah, it's real. Okay, so let's talk about it. The plane crash. Zamperini was a bombardier on a B-24 during World War II. In 1943, his bomber crashed into the Pacific due to mechanical failure. So his plane, he's off to war, and his plane crashed in the middle of the Pacific. Only 3 of 11 crew members survived the crash. Okay, so that's beating the odds, number 1. It was Lewis, the pilot, and Russell Allen, Phil Phillips, and Francis McNamara. So they crashed into the Pacific, 3 of them, and they floated over 2,000 miles on 2 small life rafts for 47 days. Well, not all of them, 47 days, but while they were dealing with this, sharks were circling constantly. And sometimes they were jumping into the raft. So you're just like fighting off sharks constantly. So that's awesome. And then they're still in enemy territory, right? Because it's war. They have Japanese aircraft strafing the raft with bullets. So they're trying to shoot them in the raft, fly by and shoot them. So they jump into the water where there's the sharks to escape getting shot. Starvation, dehydration. They caught birds, fish, and collected rainwater in canvas, I think. I think he said that earlier. So one of them, Francis McNamara, he died after about a month. And then Lewis and Phil were barely alive when they reached land. Okay. So they survived a plane crash. Then they survived for 47 days in the middle of the freaking ocean on 2 life rafts. They had sharks trying to eat them, and they were getting shot at with bullets. Okay? So they get to shore. Yay, hooray, they're saved. Well, no. They landed in Japanese-controlled Marshall Islands. So they were taken as prisoners of war. Lewis was held in several brutal POW camps for over 2 years. He was singled out for torture by a sadistic guard nicknamed the Bird, Mutsuhiro Watanabe, who despised his fame as an Olympic athlete. So this dude was an athlete, and he just obviously, didn't like that. So he tortured him. And he didn't even escape. He survived. In 1945, Japan surrendered, and World War II is essentially over. So American forces came and liberated this camp. Zamperini returned home weighing less than 100 pounds, racked with PTSD. Rightly so. Nightmares and rage. The aftermath, he says that he later found healing through forgiveness and faith. He famously forgave his captors. I have to see if I can find more on that story. That's pretty cool. And he even tried to meet with the bird who tortured him, but the bird refused. Like, homie, he's trying here. Oh, it's in a movie. I haven't seen the movie. Unbroken. I didn't read that part. Okay. Directed by Angelina Jolie. Okay. Interesting. I didn't know that. Okay, we're gonna go watch that. I'm really excited to watch that. So anyways, that's cool. That's really cool. So Charlie says, if you ever feel like giving up on anyone, if you ever feel like giving up on anything, just remember, Lewis stared death in the face for literally years and said, "Not today, Satan." Every day. Yeah, I don't know. That's crazy. Anyways, that's the story, and I'm going to bed. Bye.